Oh, what's the use?
I can't think of a scam.
Pardon me, Eddy, I couldn't hear you.
Here is the machine that Ed, Edd, and Eddy runs on. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Eddy invents a scam. Ed provides the labor. Double D builds the thing, because Double D is the only one of the three who can actually build anything. The kids of the cul-de-sac hand over their quarters. The scam collapses, usually spectacularly, usually with someone getting hurt. The Eds get nothing. The kids hate them slightly more than they did that morning. And then the sun comes up and they do it again.
This butt's been used!
Ha ha! You've been fooled! I have ripped off the innocent yet again!
That is the show. That is 130 episodes of that. And standing inside that machine the entire time, holding a clipboard, is a kid in a black beanie explaining calmly and repeatedly that this is not going to work and that they should stop. He was right. He was right every time. And the show waited 130 episodes, 4 specials, and a movie to admit it out loud. Before we get into it, if you grew up on this show, hit subscribe and tell me in the comments the exact scam you think was the worst one. Not the funniest, the worst. Let's get into it. Let me establish Double D's credentials first, because they are stronger than people remember. Ed is a straight-A student in every class. He is the editor of the school newspaper. He is in the photography club. He is the one who actually understands the engineering behind every contraption the three of them build, which is why the contraptions exist at all. Eddy has ideas. Ed has arms. Ed has the only working brain in the operation, and everybody in that cul-de-sac knows it. And the show describes his role in the group in flatly diagnostic terms. He is the voice of reason and the conscience of the Eds. He points out the weaknesses in Eddy's scams, and he explains why they are morally wrong. And he is almost always ignored. That last part is not fan interpretation. That is, the characters function as written. He exists to be correct and disregarded. Now let me be precise about what he was actually right about, because the surface version is too small. The obvious reading is that Double D objected to the scams because scamming your neighbors is mean. That is true, and it is the least interesting thing he ever said.
Oh, Eddy, you have nothing more than a mental block. Don't be ashamed of it. It happens to the best of us.
The real claim is this. Eddy did not want quarters. Eddy did not really want jawbreakers either. Eddy wanted to be liked and to be respected, and to be the guy the cul-de-sac looked at with something other than contempt. And Double D understood very early that every single scam was making that outcome less possible, not more. Each one raised the price of the thing Eddy was actually after. That is a much sharper argument, and the show proves it over and over in ways most people never assemble. Start with the simplest evidence, which is the win rate. The scams do not usually fail. They functionally never succeed. Across the entire run of that show, the Eds do not get what they set out to get. The finale itself puts a number on it, out loud, because Ed counts it. 130 episodes, 4 specials, and a movie before anything actually worked. Now look at Don't Rain on My Ed. Eddy is running a scam, and for once it is going perfectly. It is working on Johnny exactly as designed. And the moment Eddy hears the candy store is giving jawbreakers away for free, he abandons the scam instantly and sprints across town. Sit with what that reveals. If the scam were about the jawbreakers, a functioning scam plus free jawbreakers is the best day of Eddy's life. Instead, he drops the working one and chases the free ones and gets nothing, because the universe of that show does not permit it. Double D's actual line in that episode is that it was never meant to be, which sounds like a joke and is closer to a thesis statement. Then there is Ed's or Tails, which is the cleanest demonstration in the series. Ed obtains 2 jawbreakers for free. He mailed away for them, and they arrived. The thing the entire show is about is sitting in his hands, and he is offering it to his friends. And they lose it. Not because of the kids, not because of Kevin, not because of the cankers, because of themselves. All 3 Eds fall into it once the count drops to 1. Eddy even says it directly, that if they had just accepted what Ed was giving them, they would have had them. The scam mentality did not fail them because it was executed poorly. It failed them because it ruined a situation where the goal had already been achieved. And stuck in Ed is the quiet one that nobody talks about. Eddy has a creative block and cannot come up with a scam, so he hires Jimmy, a kid he once taught, to invent one for him. And when they finally go for the jawbreakers, Kevin does not have any left. Not because he is being cruel about it, because the other kids had already bought them all, straightforwardly, with money, like people. The other children in that cul-de-sac obtained jawbreakers by having quarters and walking to a garage. That is the whole method. It was available the entire time. But the single best piece of evidence is Brother, Can You Spare an Ed? And I do not think enough people give it the weight it deserves. Ed and Ed get fed up. Sarah's money is gone. Eddy is hoarding what little they scrounged, and the two of them finally turn on him and run a scam of their own, with Eddy as the product. And it makes more money than anything Eddy has ever built in the history of the show. Rolf alone drops an enormous sack of coins just to buy more turns. So, the record actually shows this. On the one occasion Double D ran the operation worked, immediately, overwhelmingly, and the group never once considered doing it that way again. Which brings us to the question the whole video is built on. Why did nobody listen? The first reason is the honest one, and it is not flattering to Ed. He was complicit every single time. He objected, and then he built it. He explained the moral problem, and then he handed over the blueprints and started assembling. That is the least persuasive position a person can occupy. He is the guy who signs the contract and then complains about the terms. Eddy never had to argue against Double D's logic, because Double D's own behavior was already arguing against it. If the objection were real, the objector would have walked. He never walked. The second reason is that Ed never offered an alternative that got Eddy what Eddy wanted. His counterproposal was, at best, do not do this. That is not a plan. Eddy is a kid with a specific hunger, and Double D's answer to it was consistently abstinence, which has never once worked on anybody. And the third reason is the one the movie finally puts on screen, and it reframes the entire series. Eddy's older brother was the mythology, holding up Eddy's whole personality. The legendary big brother, the coolest guy who ever lived, the one who taught him everything. Eddy talked about him constantly for years, and when the Edds finally find him, he is not a legend. He is a violent adult who hurts his little brother for entertainment, in front of everybody, and the kids of the cul-de-sac, who spent the entire film hunting the Edds for revenge, watch it happen and are horrified. Eddy breaks down and confesses. He tells them he lied about his brother. He tells them that everything, all of it, the scams, the persona, the swagger, was because he wanted to be admired and did not know another way to get there. And the kids accept him, instantly. Kevin, who has spent the entire series calling them dorks, invites them over for Jawbreakers. That is the payoff. After all of it, they get the Jawbreakers, and the thing that finally worked was Eddy telling the truth. Now, I want to steelman both sides properly, because this is where most versions of this argument get lazy. The case for Eddy is real. He was a child being hurt at home who built an elaborate persona to survive it, and every scam was an attempt to buy the acceptance he could not get any other way. Telling that kid to simply stop scamming is like telling someone to simply stop limping. Double D was correcting the symptom with perfect accuracy and full confidence. And the case against Double D goes further than complicity. He lived next door to Eddy for years. He was the smartest person in that cul-de-sac by an enormous margin. The one who noticed everything, cataloged everything, labeled everything. And he never once figured out that his best friend's entire personality was a defense mechanism. He watched Eddy talk about that brother 100 times and never asked a single real question about him. Which gives us the inversion, and it is the thing I actually want to leave you with. Double D was right about the scams, and completely wrong about what the scams were. He spent 130 episodes being correct about the surface. The scams would fail, someone would get hurt, the kids would hate them more. All true, every time, no exceptions. And being that consistently right about the visible problem is exactly what allowed him to never look underneath it. If your diagnosis keeps getting confirmed, you stop asking whether it is the whole diagnosis. And notice what the movie's resolution actually is. It is not Eddy finally listening to Double D. Nobody in that film says Double D was right. The resolution is Eddy telling the truth about being hurt, which is a thing Double D never once asked him for, in 130 episodes, 4 specials, and most of a movie. The smartest kid in the cul-de-sac was correct about everything he could measure, and blind to the one thing that mattered. And the moment the show finally let him lose his temper and tear into everyone, near the end of that movie, is the moment he stops being the guy with the clipboard and starts being a person. So what was the worst scam? And be honest, did you ever once, as a kid, think Double D was the one who was right? Drop it below, hit subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one.